That's the Google picture in the lower left, I wonder.
It's not on this. So. Dylan, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, thank you.
Yep, audio is good.
Okay, thank you. It's 10 o'clock now. We're gonna wait a couple minutes. It looks like Dylan's on the meeting so far, so thank you, Dylan, for joining.
Is Autumn still with us?
No, she left. They posted a position. I'm not sure what the circumstances were, specifically why she left.
Get a job at you or something?
I know, we just got your message, so, if you need to communicate through this, chat function, that's perfectly fine. So I'll keep this open so we can keep track of people that are typing in chat messages. I'm gonna give it, couple more minutes. If there's nobody else by 10:04, then we'll just go ahead and get started. It might be a pretty short meeting, so. Not sure.
Run.
Oh, see, I could have just attended online if you're gonna have company. Gonna hide over here, so.
Okay, no problem. Low profile.
It will see. Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay. Hi, Rebecca. We're just gonna give everybody another minute and then we're gonna go ahead and get started.
so I can help you.
Yeah, that's,
That's those are my thoughts.
okay. It's 10:04, so if we have other people that join, we can get caught up with them, as they join, but, we'll go ahead and get started, for today, so, okay. I had the chat message pulled up, so if you need to communicate to that, that's fine. Okay. Elijah, is there a way to, allow access to Rebecca?
She has mic access, right now. She should be able to unmute.
Thank you. I just got permission on mic. Unmute. I'm
And
sorry.
then, Dylan also has permission, whenever he is ready.
Okay, okay, thank you.
And it looks like Tron still needs permission. Pretty much anybody.
Oh,
on
I'm
the
in,
call
I'm in the room, I'm just following the chat.
Okay. And then my intern is Chloe. She's right next to me. She doesn't need necessarily permission, but
Okay. Okay, so for the big collaboration items, I talked to Lisa Ridge, she's the highway director for Monroe County. And she sent an email to our TSD department to get a suite landing page set up for under the community section of Monroe County's website. So that I'm gonna meet with TSD, not this week, but next week. And it'll be basically logos with a short description of each partnering organization, what they want to promote. And that for right now, that's about it, just logos and a description, and then of course a link to your page that you want to have. So I think that was a pretty big step to get that going. So hopefully I'll have, I don't see why it shouldn't be set up by April's suite meeting, but and of course, I'll keep everyone updated if between the next meeting as to what the page will actually look like, but you know, I just want to stress that it's going to be basically a landing page with links. So any discussion on that?
A QR code for it or anything, or would we use it? I mean,
I mean, we could possibly have a QR code, or if you just want to have a link as part of the text, that, we could have both, or just, you know, just text, so whatever, works best for your organization.
okay.
It's pretty easy to generate, but I've seen some customized ones which are kind of fun, I guess. I don't know if those cost money or you just have to go through like some type of, I guess, service where they'll customize it for you. Where I guess I'm getting at, it'd be kind of cool to see a QR code with like a raindrop in the middle.
Yeah, right?
I always use the free one and it always seems to be like a little dinosaur or something.
Right, yeah, I've seen the dinosaur before. so.
Yeah. I don't think it'd be too tricky to figure out. Let me know once you got the landing page, maybe if I could, if you're not.
Experiment with it.
Yeah, actually experiment.
See if it, something that, yeah, incorporates, you know, raindrop.
Just shoot me the
Okay,
URL that's ready. I'll tool around with it, see if we could get a custom one. Even if it's just a one-time cost, that's not too expensive. It could be kind of cool because if we put it on promotional material, having that raindrop would be kind of.
yeah, kind of
Yeah,
unique and,
add a little flavor. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that's a good idea to try to customize it a little bit, so if it's not too much expense.
You could put that on my filters once you have it.
Okay, All right. I appreciate that. So any other discussion on that? Doesn't seem so, but, and then next item is just the April 8th pathogenology discussion. Any discussion on that? Want to go over? Okay. Okay, it doesn't look. For the Lake Monroe,
I'm not
so-
sure what, Adam,
I'm
sorry, I'm not sure what kind of discussion you're hoping to have. You know, City Parks and Rec, we're hosting a series of events starting Friday through Monday. And I just know that Utilities is planning to supply their water stations to us. I'm not sure, I'm not the lead on the team, so I don't know if it was discussed if those are coming out for the whole weekend events or at least minimally Monday. And I assume they'll be dropped off ahead of time because for the most part, people are being asked to, you know, not be driving around that day. I assume Utilities, you guys are front end workers and definitely very important in case things go wrong. So I don't know if you guys are telling your staff to take PTO that day, but unfortunately for Parks and Rec, our staff are all being scheduled around different parks as stationaries to just kind of keep an eye on things. And then we're going to have a lot of staff obviously scheduled at Switchyard Park doing different roles throughout the weekend.
Right. Yeah, understandable. So we were just pretty much told to remote that day because of traffic and whatnot. At least me, but there are others that will need to be, of course, available out in the public and concerned about water and sewer and all that. But hopefully stormwater will not be an issue. We won't get several instances of rain or a tornado or it's
You better
possible.
find some wood to knock on, Christy.
Right? That might be hard to do in here. I know Red Cross and everybody, they're going to be putting up temporary shelters just in case of any type of an event, you know, so.
Definitely better be proactive. And I know we requested EMS services to be on site at Switchyard. They have a little bit of I think it's like a golf cart mobile type unit. And then obviously police, fire, they're all just going to be all on call just in case things go wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I think I'm just gonna hunker down at home, seriously, you know. Fuck out for the event, but laying low.
Yeah. I was thinking in terms of like areas that were not designated, you know, like a park, like along county roads. If there's any, like if we're gonna have like trash bags set up or trash receptacles or, you know, how that was gonna be organized. I haven't really, I know that there's been a few meetings, like with emergency management.
Yeah.
But one of the things I was concerned about was just like, if there's a county road that the path intersects, you know, is there gonna be a place where if people have, you know, their drinking water or other beverages, are they gonna, you know, throw that away? Where are they gonna throw that away? Hopefully they pack it with them and take it with them and take it to the appropriate place, but we'll just have to kind of see how that plays out. But
And I heard the county parks are just closing and they're going to lock the gates. So I don't know.
Speculate too much on that. I can't confirm that. I thought with my talkies that I felt like they were gonna remain open, but have the option to shut it down, so. But again, I don't wanna speculate too much. I would defer to you.
Yeah, because I understand Autumn is no longer here.
Yeah, she no longer works for the county. But John Robertson, I thought he would be here in her absence since he's her supervisor, but I don't know if he ever got the invite. John Robertson, if anyone talks
Yeah, I
to?
sent it out to him, so I'm gonna put him's future for this meeting and for future suite meetings.
It was on your list.
Yeah, yeah. But, if we get information about, our department, I can share that separately. After the meeting, but yeah, I haven't heard one way or the other as far as Monroe County Parks. But, looks like, Rebecca, you're first on the agenda for, City of Bloomington Parks and Recreation.
Great, and thank you. Unfortunately, Chloe and I have to jump off at 10:30, so I appreciate going first too. I've updated the agenda item. We just hosted our Hoosier River Watch instructor training on Friday. Christy, we had somebody from utilities come, and he said that he's planning, I think his name was Parker.
Yep,
Great.
he was very
wonderful.
excited.
Yeah, and he plans to help also with the IU Creek Day.
Yes.
Brandon Wilson, I thought he was going to attend, which to be honest, he should be. I thought, is he in the room and I'm just not seeing him?
No, he's not here.
Okay. Okay. So I will follow up with him, Christy, but I told him, he did confirm with you via email. He is available
Yes.
to help with the day. And just let him know sooner than later if you need us to prepare any of the materials.
That's what I'm working on. Yeah, I think we
Great.
should be okay, but you have the kids, right? We might just be doing macros and maybe
Okay.
pH. We were talking about, it's the main thing is a cleanup, but it'd be fun to do macros and just some other things that people might be interested in instead of like a whole full blown, water quality monitoring event. It's more
Right.
a
So
side
if you
thing.
need us to bring nets or just extra, ice cube trays, stuff like that, just if you can make a materials list, send it to Brandon and he'll make sure to get everything ready.
Yes, that's what I was
he
gonna
was-
do. I need to do an email and that's something on my
Okay, and he was
star
also
to-do list here.
asking about site logistics, getting to campus and parking on campus is not easy. So
Right.
if possible, if you can coordinate with him to meet him at our storage shed to load up the materials in your utilities van, since you'll have the city special and be able to park and pull up places much more easy. He's going to end up driving his personal vehicle. So likely he'll have to park at a meter spot and then walk from, like, let's say Kirkwood to Campus River, or where I'm not even sure where you guys are actually meeting on campus. So he was asking me those questions and I said, I do not know. Please talk to Christy about site logistics. So
Yeah. No, we're good. It's just gonna be at Indiana and Campus River, and then we're gonna be working our way east. And I have it on my notes here, like I say, to do a follow-up email with everybody, so
Great.
we're all on the same page. And I should be able to get that out later today, I'm thinking, unless anything changes. But yeah, no, everything should be pretty good. But I could even meet him at, like you say, at your storage unit out there. And
Yeah.
he can just ride with me,
Oh yeah. So I'll leave that up to you guys to coordinate. And I told him not to ignore your emails because he was playing catch up there for a minute. So he'll be looking out for your email. Outside of that, what I don't have listed here, and Christy, you'll probably mention, is just the instructor gathering coming up.
Yeah.
Adam, just a reminder, you are an instructor. Hopefully you got the invite. That's a great event. It's even going to be better this year because they're actually doing a guided canoe tour up there. So I'm jealous I can't attend myself, but definitely a great opportunity to restock on chemicals and stuff. So Brandon will be bringing up our expired chemicals, as well as hoping to get some restock to restock some of our kits. But Dylan Allison has already mailed me more DO and pH, so we're good to go for the season, which leads me into my next agenda topic, which is that we're
Just
hosting.
Real quick, and that event's for April 12th, is that correct?
The Campus Creek is
Yes.
April 12th. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. And the instructor gathering, I believe, is April
The
19th.
following Friday, yeah, the 19th.
I see, okay.
Up in Indy.
Yeah. And so next on the agenda, we're hosting our Adopt-A-Stream, our adopter orientation this coming Thursday, March 28th, 5:30 to 6:30. It is virtual. Brandon Olson, again, he's our staff liaison for our Adopt-A-Stream program. He will be leading the presentation for me because I'll be making my way back from the Indiana Watershed Leadership Academy. We're meeting up in Lindenwood Christy, you've probably been up there. So
Yeah,
looking-
I graduated in, what was it, 2012?
Yeah. So I'll be, hopefully I'll make it back in time, but just in case, he's slightly updated the presentation slides, mostly to make them look better, but the content is all the same. And Adam, it still has the, like, in case you see any suspicious, discharge or dumping, we
Yeah,
put in
thank you for doing that.
county, county contact. Christy, you're still listed for CBU. And then we just updated the county to be, I'm sorry, the Parks Department one, since Autumn's no longer the staff person. It's just the general Parks and Rec email. So that's all been updated. He'll be there. No stress if you guys can't attend virtually, Christy. Usually you're just there in case somebody has a question. So don't
I
feel like you
can,
need.
yeah, I have it on my schedule,
Great.
so sure.
So yeah, it's, same as typical. We kind of just run through the basics of volunteering and getting them onboarded. And then we have the breakout rooms where we'll do a little bit more of a deep dive into expectations for Adopt a Stream participants. And after that, it really goes into Brandon's job of assigning the stream segments to the volunteers and coordinating on-site visits with them to just kick off the event. Some of our volunteers, like I'm going to use Rita Stevens as an example. She's been doing this program for years. She does not need us to meet her on site. She probably knows her property better than we do. So that's happening. Nature startup again, supposed to be tomorrow, although we're going to be under a wind advisory. And so I'm potentially going to have to postpone due to that. We've made an internal decision that anything over 25-mile-per-hour winds is unsafe to have large events under canopy. So Leonard Springs is wooded, especially this time of year where there's still a lot of snags and things in the tree. So that's just kind of our own risk assessment there of we don't want to put anyone in harm's way. So I will likely have to postpone due to wind, which is never fun for some students to understand, but rather be safe than sorry. I already mentioned the watershed, and then we're still partnering with ESD to host the free climate action workshops. I specifically called out the one that Christy will be co-hosting with Joanna. We're going to be promoting the stormwater residential grants available to homeowners, as well as just doing a little bit of a walking tour to look at green infrastructure at Switchyard Park, talking about, rain garden, bioswales, that kind of green design that people can incorporate in their own landscaping. So that one's specifically on there. It's since our summer program guide has not been published, it's not been updated onto the website yet. I will get those added to the website once our summer program guide gets mailed out, which I thought should be at the end of this week, and if not this week, early next week, but I will double check on that. And last up, there's the link to our solar eclipse events. That just goes to our webpage. And then finally, wanted to mention we are hosting an Earth Week Creek cleanup on April 14th from 10 to noon at Rogers Family Park, previously known as the Goat Farm. And I included the link to register. Last I looked, we were at about 17 registered participants already. And I think we set it to 25. But if for some reason we're seeing that's even go, oh no, I set it to 30. So if anybody has anybody looking for volunteer opportunities, feel free to send them our way, register. We usually end up getting a frat or sorority last minute who's like, we have 30 people ourselves. So I'm not too worried about getting up to that number, but just in case, I wanted to include that opportunity here. That is it for Parks and Rec City. If anyone has any questions, let me know. If not, again, we'll have to jump off at 10:30. So just feel free to shoot me an email if you have anything to follow up.
Nothing to follow up on that, just I chatted with John real quick, and the parks will be open for the eclipse. They don't have any different kind of operational kind of guidance outside of kind of just treat it like a normal day. And outside of the pavilions can't be reserved, and he said he plans to hopefully join these until they have a new naturalist. So just figured I'd provide that since we kind of left it out there open-ended. So
Okay, thanks for checking with John.
and they are reserving the right to close things down, I guess, but that's probably the day of if it gets out of hand. So
Sure.
And Tron, can you clarify, does the county still have stationaries who almost live on site at their parks?
I can't say on all of them. I do think Harsh Farm has one. So I can't speak to if there's any others out there. That's the only one I'm aware of. So
Okay. I just, it sounds like, oh man, opening your parks, but having no staff working that day, that's playing with fire.
I,
Right?
and he didn't mention anything about any different type of staffing. But if anything changes, I did tell him that we'd try to, I've mentioned if anything changes, I'd tell this group that they'll try to reach out and let folks know. That's as best as I can do. Figured it was better than how we left it.
Yeah, thanks for checking.
And Rebecca, for the nature days, are the links set up so that you can volunteer for, is it every Tuesday? And all it includes?
Yes. And honestly, tomorrow we were good. The next day we were good, but it was the rain date, or now I'm calling it the wind date, April 9th. I did have some openings. So if you're potentially available April 9th, I'm not getting desperate only because I'm so fortunate to have 4 seasonal staff and an intern. And Chloe's fantastic and can lead these stations. So right now I have 2 floats, as I'm calling them, almost extra staff. So those 2 gaps I can fill them in. But if for some reason somebody's available, wants to use the excuse to get out of the office and come hang out with us, I should mention that I will actually be out of the office. I'll be leaving for vacation this Friday for 2 weeks. So shout out to my boss, Steve Cotter. He'll be there on site in my stead. But fortunately, Leonard Springs is a well-oiled machine and plenty of returning staff. So I'm not too worried about it, but I just wanted to mention I won't actually be there. So Steve Cotter will be there in my absence.
Okay, thank you. And it looks like Maggie joined the meeting. So Maggie, would you like to share for Friends of Lake Monroe? Okay, we're not hearing anything, so you might be on mute presently, but if you get that unmuted, we'll come back to you. All right. So next we have City of Bloomington Utilities.
Fancy that, okay. Adam and I were just meeting a little bit before the meeting here to go over this latest with the Salt Creek 319 grant. It looks like we're going to be including Martha. I guess Martha Miller is the one that is the lead for education outreach on this. So Adam was going to go ahead and put together an email with all of us on there so we could find a time and place to meet, even if just virtually. I think it'd be nice to maybe even meet on site. Well, we'll see. That's underway. Main events, residential stormwater grants. The deadline has remained the same. It's September 5th, but we're going to be having a public meeting coming up next month, April 18th, 5:30 to 7 at CBU. Other things going on, Hoosier River Watch, as we were just saying, we have the IU Campus River event, also the retreat. Adopt a Drain, gearing up for spring. We're starting with an insurance company and doing the Near West neighborhood on February the 3rd, 9 to 12. If anybody's interested in working with us on that, let me know. You might be, I don't know. I'm gonna be doing storm drain marking and maybe cleaning up the drains a little bit. Yeah, this is a nice group. They're really on the ball. Eco Heroes, that's coming up. That's kind of a planning thing, city planning with the Environmental Commission. Art contest, that's going to be taking place. The awards are taking place on Saturday, April 20th. That's Earth Week. 1 p.m. Quick Yard Park. So CBU is getting together a bunch of swag for that. Because the focus this year is stormwater. Pretty cool, yeah. Like I might even be a judge for the contest, but anyways, yeah, no, that's gonna be a good thing. MCCSC collaboration, when we did the Stormwater Maker Contest, we did put in for a governor's award. And we're also going to be putting in for an MS4 award for the spring. Not on good again. Garden Fair. Adam and I are going to be tag teaming that on April 13. Give you education update. This is a big thing here. There's a proposed, almost like a mini, very mini. Rebecca Lee, something happened.
She said she had a interest.
I know, it's 10:30. Proposed little stormwater pond, kind of like a little mini Miller Showers for Elm Heights neighborhood. We're working on a.
Hey, Christy, before I hop off, just because you said Miller Showers, I am going to mention it was discovered that some of our interpretive signs out there were scorched. Somebody set them on fire. They're completely burned out. I believe there's 2 of them. So we might, I don't know, we're trying to track down. I found the original art, but I don't know who put those in or paid for them, if it was a CBU thing or it was a Parks thing. Either way, you might be hearing from me about getting those replaced. And if, since we're going to replace them, do we need to update anything on them? But I think the idea is we'll scrape them and then just pay for a new decal sticker almost to be put on top of them. And typically we go through everywhere signs for that. Yeah, it's a shame. It happened
really
probably in November, and in November, early December last year. I just only found out about it now.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I remember, yeah,
I know.
there's been damage to sign that out of Leonard Springs over time and whatnot too. People need something better to do.
Exactly. But
Yeah,
yeah, on that note, I am going to peel off. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rebecca.
see you.
Thank you, Chloe.
But yeah, there's the new stormwater pond proposed for Elm Heights in between the 2 roads, that little drainage ditch that drains to Bryan Park. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. We have plans for it already, but we're trying to find a time for a public meeting.
Sure.
And I was wondering if there has to be any type of particular format to follow for public meetings. Liz was gonna look into it, but you guys know if there needs to be, well, your county, so it might be different anyway. I don't know. We're looking into that.
It's always safe to just default to Robert's rules.
That's, you know.
But I mean, just to get the word out, we're working on press release and blah, blah, blah.
We
Anyways,
need public notice.
yeah, that's what I
Not
mean.
necessarily it's a meeting. Typically 48 hours in advance is kind of what I know we need to do for our public noticing. Surveyor, I feel like that's the same stuff everyone.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah. Well, she's looking into it. Yeah.
Hey, Chrissy. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
This is Maggie. Sorry, I was having some trouble with technology. As an
That's
Elm
okay.
Heights resident, Chrissy, I can tell you, you're gonna get a lot of interest in that, and I would
All
try to
right.
promote it as early as you can to give people a chance. It's a very active neighborhood. I live less than a block from that, and I'm very curious to know what you have proposed.
Right. I know. And it needs it. So, yeah. We've seen what the drainage is like there during heavy events. This is working on that part of it. So another neat thing that we're working on is in relation to neighborhoods. Speaking of neighborhoods, doing more education with them, especially for those that apply for grants, providing more oversight in order to encourage their success. Yeah, I think that's, for anybody that actually receives a grant, we're pretty excited about that. I'm working with Hand on that, Angela Van Roy, and actually others have jumped on the bandwagon there too, such as city council members and trustees. A lot of people are really interested in this because of the way the prices are going with the homes and people needing help, you know, with repairs and so on and so forth, stormwater and all sorts of things. So anyways, yeah, we're working on a comprehensive plan for that. Help people and make sure the the projects are successful.
If I add a comment or
Oh, go ahead.
just the HOAs in themselves and
Right,
the continuous, need for them to be operational and meeting kind of the demands because all of this stormwater green private infrastructure is going into, the HOAs to manage, or, parcels, ownership
mm-hmm,
by an individual to maintain and, we're having those operational manuals put together to try to give them, information of how to do that. I'll just jump kind of ahead because I think we all understand some of the difficulties of kind of just shifting this maintenance and everything else to these HOAs. If they're newer, if they're formed new, like if they were recently formed HOAs or older HOAs, I think they're still dealing with some of the same issues. And I'm really curious, like, is there any interest with anyone higher up that could probably delegate more staff, time and resources to putting together like an annual HOA convention conference down there, at our convention center? We just ask every HOA to come. And then it gives us an opportunity, not just from the stormwater, but the utility side, all these other areas where they fall into that maintenance and maintain compliance. Because
it's basically what we're, yeah.
It's coming through a development phase and the sub areas, a good example is a lot of this, if it moves forward, it moves forward from the city planning commission, so it's gonna fall on the council to determine if they're wanting to, this PUD, but a lot of that infrastructure is just kind of, shifted over to the HOAs and maintain it, and it's like.
That doesn't happen.
We all know how problematic that is.
Yeah.
You can't really enforce anything or really get involved in that conversation too much, I think having one year HOA kind of outreach would be very significant, like. HOA workshop. Have a running list and inviting folks. I think the education is huge because I think a lot of folks would take it upon themselves to maintain certain things that they had to, or if they just knew how, or take opportunities like grants if it's just feasibly not in their budget and there's opportunity out there for some of their expenses or costs. Sorry, just.
No, I think that's excellent. Thank you. No, as we're coming together, it's actually good timing, so.
Or just matching a face to a name or vice versa, that they have an HOA that is interested in making improvements. They don't know where to start. They don't know who to hire or what procedure to go through. To help them make it less daunting. And I think that's an excellent idea so that there's a communication that's not, we don't have to keep updating our list, by taking time and calling people or emailing people. We have it's an annual event that people understand it's important to, share resources and, communicate that. So.
Yeah, it's needed out there.
I feel like we get a lot of support too from folks saying, yeah, let's figure out how to do this. Collaborative educational outreach, once a year. How many times do you guys do the developer workshops just once a year?
Yeah.
Kind of something like that, our venue space,
Love it.
Anyways,
No, that's good. Thank you.
So much, but I know there's a big challenge with HOAs. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah,
There's providing a space for education and outreach.
And even within some subdivisions, you might have infrastructure that's both maintained by the utility and other infrastructure that's maintained by that subdivision that I think even the HOA members may not understand that, what is theirs and what is, maintained by the county or CDU.
Absolutely. And how it interfaces, public and private, what is and what isn't. It's kind of nebulous.
Yeah, what is that MS4? I mean, that may be a stumbling block for a lot of HOAs. Like, why do we care if that is MS4? It's like, well, it relates to, it could relate to flooding or, erosion or other issues that, we're wanting to correct this.
Yeah.
I've seen city, county, even IU maybe here and there, I know Michael jumped on, where like they've already put presentations together, so it's just basically doing that same presentation, just more of a target audience, so I wouldn't necessarily think we're doing too much more work.
Sure.
Outside of just kind of tailoring it for a dedicated event.
Yeah, no, I love that. No, thank you. No, it's
Anything
good.
happens in the next 2 or 3 years of, like, I just don't talk all the time, so.
Hiding over there on the side. Yeah, speaking of Michael Dorset, you're involved with the IU event, right, on the 12th, April 12th, with the students? You were there?
He typically is the chat.
That's how to communicate.
Yeah.
There we go. We see you typing. From 1 to 3. And they got Michael to it.
So he's
You have
asking that.
the mic is allowed. They just have to enable the mic. They just
I
have to
think
unmute.
I think he doesn't have it set up, or this is just his preferred way.
Yes, Michael, stream cleanup on the. I can get with you later on it. But we were talking about that earlier, I think, before you came on. How the students have contacted me to help with Hoosier River Watch in a very limited way. We're just gonna be doing probably macros, but anyways, we'll figure that out later. So. Anything else? Those are the main things. MS4 meeting is coming up. May 13. And after that LTAP, then after that would be NASM on mid-September. But yeah, our audit, we have an audit coming up.
Okay, we had one of those in October. And I
Yeah,
think IU had one earlier in 2023 as well.
looks like September 5th is going to be ours so far.
Okay.
We're not sure what time, but that's what we were looking at. So, yeah. It's
Okay.
mostly what I had.
Okay, thank you. And Maggie, we kind of skipped you. So if you'd like to share what you've been working on.
Sure, and just in case people aren't looking at the chat, Michael Dorset just posted that they have 2 audits this year, IU South Bend and IU Kokomo. I don't have a whole lot to report from Friends of Lake Monroe. We are hoping to get a field day going in May. I'm working on getting some septic education workshops going. We'll definitely do one in Brown County in September, but I haven't figured out Monroe County yet. I wanted to make a quick comment. Chrissy mentioned the Lower Salt Creek watershed. So that's kind of the southern half of Bloomington and Monroe County. They have their watershed management plan complete, but they're running a cost share program. And so that's really working with farmers on conservation practices, which I'm doing as well. And then Bean Blossom watershed, which is the kind of the north half of Bloomington and Griffey and Lake Lemon. They are just starting the planning process. So they had a kickoff meeting in Brown County last week. I know they're having one in Monroe County, but I'm not quite sure when. So they'll be definitely looking for some input on that project. That's just at the very beginning stages. And again, that's Martha Miller with Monroe County SWCD, who's kind of spearheading that. So that's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. To the agenda, we don't have Erica or Martha on meeting today, but
I gotta plug the date for the steering committee meeting. It's April 1st, Monroe County SWC office.
okay, thank you for.
That's not April Fool's joke.
What is the event? What is it?
It's April 1st.
Yeah,
for
but
the
what is?
P loss.
Good, yeah, we lost it.
Oh, okay.
Steering committee
Got it.
kickoff. Maggie was just referring to.
And Adam, I did have a procedural question. Are you sending out meeting minutes after these meetings? Are we gonna be doing that, or is it just kind of the updated agenda is what we're using as minutes?
Yeah, the minutes will be posted to our website and I'm 3 months in arrears at this point, so I need to update those. I'm glad you mentioned that because I'll send out the email when those are been updated and available and, but for right now, those are within the Stormwater's website. But yeah, I'm not updating the meeting minutes via the Google Drive. I'm just using that as the template.
Okay, if you could send a link to where that is on the website sometime, that would be helpful. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for asking about that. Okay, so we don't have Erica or Martha on the call, but we have the Monroe County Surveyor's Office on the agenda.
Yeah, a lot of, I guess, little things, so I won't dive into that. I guess I'll just mention the Indiana Lakes Management Society conference was last week, and I made the trip and attended. It was good. I really enjoy it because I get to expand kind of my networking and kind of meeting other experts in other areas, like the person giving the session, which happened to go right next to Maggie's, which now I'm looking at the agenda, and if I looked at it a little closer, I probably would have skipped it, but I learned about a lot about Cisco fish. What their habitat needs and kind of how they're on the endangered list, I guess now.
Cisco?
Yeah, they're just, yeah, it's not for sports fishing anymore, so. Unless I said something wrong there, I'm pretty sure. And then another thing I kind of wanted to bring up was, the efforts going on at Lake Lemon with dredging and how much sediment is coming into the lake, where some of it has actually been reclaimed as wetlands, and some of their efforts of getting the sediment through a hydraulic kind of mechanism has been successful. But I think what is now gonna be another challenge is how to remove that sediment that they're collecting. And that sediment could be used for parks, like the level of toxicity is low enough where it can be used for that type of use, and probably building as well. So I'm really curious, or just want to bring up to this group of create a solution of how to help move the sediment that they're getting out of the lake, because those basins are, I guess that's how you describe it, fill up after a certain point in time. And that costs a lot of money. Cost a lot of money just to get the sediment out. Now we have to figure out what we can do with it. And I don't have any great ideas except for, it'd be cool to think kind of how can we start addressing this problem? And especially, not just Lake Lemon, but our other lakes as well. And is there any way that there can be like intercooperative agreements out there or something to help offset some cost, or even just a place to take it, if they could pay for, packing it up, moving it down the road, where could we drop it where it wouldn't necessarily have another exorbitant cost? So I just think that is something that will be necessary to really kind of, get to the goals that they're looking for with kind of maintaining that rate. But really like that, and then now off to a couple other things. I think we all knew this, but I wasn't exactly sure what bills were signed. But after getting an update from the Hoosier Environmental Council, how enrolled at 1108, which is slope restrictions. So that must, since it's now an enrolled act, means it was signed. So kind of curious how we're going to deal with that. I think countywide, we have slope restrictions. So the city, county, now with the town, I'm kind of curious of what their ordinance looks like. I feel like they've always kind of tried to kind of protect some slopes, but I can't speak too in depth about the town.
I don't know. That's a good list question.
So,
Yeah, Linda.
so yeah, just that's coming down and that's going to really, deal with a lot of things that were involved in here. So, outside of that, I also went to road school the week before, so I've been back to back conferences and been in the office 4 out of the last 10 working days, and I've been learning a lot. So that's it. Anyone have any questions? I'm then happy to. Also, I plan to be involved in the Beam Bluff watershed steering.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for those updates. And then, Michael, if you had any other updates you'd like to share, we'll just type the chat here. Go to that. And then after IU, we have Town of Ellettsville. Dylan, do you have any updates you'd like to share? This might still be muted, but
Anything with the eclipse?
yeah, I'll go ahead and
Yeah, I
move on.
got it here.
Okay, thank you.
For the eclipse, we will be, utilities and street will be working for the whole event. We stationed all over town, trying to help traffic control and everything along them lines. And we're hoping that for the creek cleaning event that you're putting on here in Ellettsville, or we're hoping to have a pretty good turnout. We just had a meeting this morning about it, so it'll be posted on our social media today about noon. And we are going to, when I get out of this meeting, go to Jiffy Tree and a couple of the local businesses right there, the Putt Putt, and talk with them about maybe getting some gift certificates or something along them lines, and also informing them about people being in behind their properties and maybe even using some of them for parking.
Okay, that sounds great. I appreciate you getting that going with that. Yeah, I've been working with Dylan to have a post solar eclipse cleanup event. There's a tributary of Jack's Defeat Creek that flows right underneath the path of totality. So our concern was, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people and there's likely going to be a lot of trash just making its way to that creek. So after, the event, a few days, we'll have a post cleanup event where we just clean both sections of town of Ellettsville and Monroe County. That tributary kind of goes back and forth between both areas. So once we get the word out, and I appreciate you getting the word out through your social media as well, but it's basically just a stream cleanup event where we clean up after the solar eclipse. But that's really all I had as far as Monroe County. we don't have anybody on the public on the meeting today, but, next SWEET meeting will be April 22nd. Any other things?
I just had one thought, and it's kind of to go off of what you were saying, and, it all has to be manageable, so have all the greatest intentions and ideas of what can be done. And what you were talking about was how to put trash stations, essentially in various places to give the option for people to throw things away. I think that's a fabulous idea, but I guess I'm looking at a one scale higher of like, instead of like on the trails or this, just like in areas where you could like kind of drive by and you see someone set up selling roses or something like that. Where there's a big roll up dumpster for trap people that have trash. So like, if they're traveling, they know they're gonna drive by a place they can throw their trash away, so maybe they'll pack it into their car for about 30-40 minutes. Versus thinking they're gonna have to drive all the way clear home if they, travel, 6 or 7 hours to get here. So like,
Or maybe we just have a, area where trash bags are available.
trash bags and then
Like,
maybe a big dumpster.
Or something to encourage them to, if they're a few hundred feet away from the dumpster, at least, give you this free trash bag to
I think
encourage you to pack it up and.
I think it's a fabulous idea, and I think maybe, our waste reduction team, if we pass that idea along, can manage the effort. If they have the ability, but I didn't want that to kind of just slide off the table of discussion, because I think it's an excellent way to be proactive of having, 400,000 people come into the community for 3 or 4 days. It's just having a couple of intersections, some big trash bags where people could easily, or not trash bags, trash bins, but maybe with, a trash bag dispenser too. And
So, yeah,
I think,
combination.
I think that's a fabulous idea. Maybe, have 4 or 5 of them spread out through the county. But
Yeah.
I'll just leave it there. That's just kind of my added thoughts onto what you were kind of lightly touching on earlier.
Right, that, and that it could very well be that, waste reduction district has something in mind. I just have
They
to.
might, yeah.
Yeah.
And if not, I'm kind of curious of how we could just say, hey, we
Yeah.
discussing about this, what are your thoughts on it?
Yes, absolutely.
Obviously, none of us are gonna pull out our itch and tie it, or pull off dumpster to it.
No,
I would drop it in strategic spots.
right, yeah, right. Want to make sure it's organized and doable. Well, I don't see any other discussion items, so I appreciate everyone's contributions today. And Dylan, I'll get with you later today about this cleanup event, but thank you for everyone's time. Unless there's anything else, we'll see everyone on April 22nd.
Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Meg.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. Thank you. Just finish that in under an hour.